All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Moonduck coverage of the Zotac Cup Masters North America Open Qualifier Finals, game number 2 between Team Fire and Team Freedom. I'm Android, joined once again by the lovely Zyori.
Hello, hello, hello. It's a Monkey King first pick here for Team Fire. They'll be on the Dire, and we've got Freedom on the Radiant, who go for the first pick Earth Spirit. Of course, it's Fire leading the series 1-0. Is this the final NA Open? This might be number 3.
I think there's one more, but I don't actually know. If you go ahead and check the brackets, we can just sum up.
Yeah, this is number 3. So there's one more Open after this. So, and then the American Regional will be coming. We'll actually know what team from the region will be representing the North Americas in Taiwan.
Ooh.
Very exciting.
Yeah. Again, this match is not on a ticket, so we don't get the official names or team names, unfortunately. So top, Dire, Team Fire, bottom, Team Freedom.
However, I can confirm that Boris is standing in for BSJ on the side of Freedom. We were able to do that little bit of recon.
Do you know which one he is?
I think it's Boris. I have no fucking idea. I don't know anything.
Oh, okay.
But Boris was he was in the lobby at least. So
yeah,
I don't know who is who once we get tagged up here besides IX Mike. But yeah, it should be Eagle, Jube, Mike, Tomato, and Boris, if I'm not mistaken.
It's we'll see. IX Mike obviously tagged up correctly. Thank you very much. And
thank you, Mike.
On Fire, we've got Fluff tagged up correctly, TC tagged up nicely, and Crippling Depression is Brax. They are right now just working it out. Anyway, back into the picks here. Monkey King Puck as an opener here. So Fire are not really holding their cards close to their chest, just really open about what their mid's going to be.
I have this sneaky suspicion this is bait. I think this is going to be an off-lane puck, and they're kind of posturing like it's a mid puck. But maybe I'm completely wrong, or maybe that's kind of obvious here, and they won't fall for it.
I mean, I think it's kind of a two-way street. I mean, maybe it's bait. We'll see how Freedom react to that. They could probably just run it either, or I think Brax is probably comfortable with his puck.
I think so. I also learned today that Boris goes by the handle Monk. It's one of his alternate IDs. I had no idea.
I think I knew that. I definitely did from doing the Pro Dota Cup.
He also goes by Bill, which I did not know either. So, yeah, Boris, Bill, and Monk are all the same. And also Shamgar. I've never seen that name, but according to Wikipedia, he also goes by Shamgar. So.
Yep. Well, if you see Shamgar in your pubs, watch out, man. He's feisty.
Yeah. So 7.05 new patch dropped halfway through our broadcast today. A lot of hero tweaks.
Treant banned here, so definitely reacting to that one.
Yeah, we've seen him played a little bit. I still think Treant has just not been that amazing. Like the games we've seen, he's been underwhelming. I had higher hopes, I guess, based on how long he's been out of captain's mode. He definitely does not feel broken right now. Annoying, definitely. Certainly very good against certain lineups. And in that early laning phase, he can still bully some of the squishy supports out of lane. But it seems very manageable. And it seems like teams kind of know what he's up to. And when they see the tree, they kind of just back off. And that's it. We've seen a number of times now where he just struggles with that mobility getting around the map. So not going to get to see him in this game. Instead, we'll see Monkey King versus Earth Spirit, 2 very mobile roaming 4s, assumed 4s. And we talked about potential offlane Monkey King earlier, I guess. Not completely out of the question, but whenever I see a Monkey King like this, I pretty much assume it's on the 4.
Yeah, we saw it played last series in the EU bracket. It did all right, kind of splitting up, doing its own thing, whereas I've seen Monkey Kings be really successful when they actually stick to their cores, stick to their mid laners. And
he's always annoying, and kind of no matter what role he's in. Even if he's underfarmed, that's stun, super annoying. You know, Wukong's command is never fun.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways to deal with that. You got to force him out of the thing. Could go back in and pick up like a Bat Rider if they really wanted to do it, if they wanted to like jungle it. I don't know. Or put Centaur in the 4 position. They could go for a Keeper of the Light, still in the pool. Can blast him out of his stupid BS circle.
Yeah, Coddle usually just pretty safe in general. Blind, amazing. And they take Dazzle. So an aggressive support in the Earth Spirit and a nice defensive support in the Dazzle. Always annoying to play against Puck, though, as Dazzle. I mean, Silence, one of those things you can say is good against every hero, but Dazzle in particular, those Waning Rift silences feel so long in those big team fights.
Let's see. I'm interested to see if Fire really just straight up picked their mid laner second pick, or if they're really trying to force Freedom into dealing with it when it's just going to be an off laner, potentially like a...
Well, so far they haven't really picked much to react to the puck.
Oh.
And now with the Veno, I mean...
I love it.
Mid-Veno off-lane puck, is that what we're thinking? I want to believe. I think Veno is really strong in certain core roles. Really don't think Veno is that strong as like a position 5. One thing about him being position 4 is that he can spend a lot of time in the jungle, and on Dire's side, you can farm really, really fast in that little area where that kind of central camp is. You can stack and set up wards where they don't block the camp and farm super fast if left uncontested. So again, I think Fire trying to be hard to predict. Like all 3 of these heroes could play a variety of roles. So even if they have a framework here where it is the offlane puck, mid-Veno, roaming Monkey King, they could very easily change their minds and just call an audible here.
We'll see, man. This is
very light on stuns, though. That is potentially one of their big issues. You've got the Monkey King stun, and that's pretty much it.
You break Dream Coil, I guess, but that's not something you can really count on.
I wonder, so one of the changes in this patch, the one that jumped out to me is that the kind of across-the-board buff to spellcasters. So, what was 7.0, I guess, maybe even before that. Now, intelligence gives you spell amplification, right? So every point of int contributes towards that. It used to be 1% spell amplification for 16 points of intelligence, and now it's 1% spell amp for 15. So that's like a 6%-ish buff to spell amp based from int gain, which maybe doesn't sound like a lot, but if you think about like Aether Lens, for example, that's a 6% buff. So like 6% is not nothing. You know, that adds up. And when you look at this lineup, Puck, Veno, Invoker,
they have got some casters.
Like, are we going to go into the Harry Potter meta? You know, is that...
Everyone just doing as many spells as possible?
It's one of those changes where it's easy to look at that and think about all of the potential, like, oh my god, that's so much more damage. Like for a hero like Veno, for example, you know, you get Ags, you get Veil, he already does an ass load of damage. It's just kind of food for thought, and that's one of those changes that you don't see that often, you know, to the very core mechanics of a specific type of hero. You know, only the spellcasters. That's kind of cool.
All right, so, I mean, Invoker picked up, so clearly Fire have got something up their sleeves when it comes to the puck. I'm assuming it's going to be offlane puck, mid-Voker, and what do you do with the Veno there? I mean, do you core Invoker and mid-Veno offlane puck?
Starting to feel like it might just be a support Veno. It could be that jungling Veno. That's the outside of like a core in the mid laner, or if you're doing an aggro try where he stays solo safe lane against the enemy off lane or something like that. In lieu of those two situations, Veno farming in the jungle, again, the key thing is if left uncontested. But if you just give him 10 minutes and he does it perfectly where he keeps stacking and doesn't block any camps, it's really insane. Like at 10 minutes, he'll be #1 on net worth, or at least has the potential to be. So it's not all bad, but I think if you do that strategy, you have to have a pivot plan where you turn that Veno into something. Maybe it's just offlane Veno now that they pick up the Rubik, though.
No, it's got to be the jungle Veno offlane.
Who's
their core?
Are they going to aggro try? Are they doing a... Is there any way this is like a core Monkey King and he's not a support?
I mean, there's a chance he can go for the Echo Saber into Abyssal, but it's not done.
I just feel like that's like universally decreed to be pretty terrible at this point.
That was like what people were doing in their pubs right when Monkey King came out.
Yeah, and he was also more broken then. You know, there were different aspects of the hero, like his ultimate lasted even if he died, things like that. So playing him as a core, I think, had more merit before they really leveled him out. Trying to play him in a position 1 role now is really not great, I don't think.
I'm almost tempted to say it's going to be position 1 Invoker, and I don't know.
They could do some kind of funky aggro tri lane where Veno's the core, and they do put him in the off lane, but that's where the supports go, and then they just safe lane the puck. So they'll do like a puck versus Centaur up top, Invoker, Ember mid, and then it'll be try on try in the bottom lane.
Well, either way, this is going to be a very interesting draft. I like what Fire are doing. I want it to work out, but it might just be too out there.
I mean, that's the only way I can see these lanes set up if we have the positions right, because how can Puck go solo off lane against the safe lane of the Radiant? Like Dazzle, Juggernaut, like Puck's not going to be able to do anything.
I mean, if he gets like the clutchest phase shifts all the time and just if they don't put pressure on him, I don't know. But
even so, that's just a tough, Dazzle's not the easy, like Dazzle is a good zoning support. He can definitely zone Puck, and then with the Jug on top of that, plus an Earth Spirit, I feel like there is something about this dire draft that just hasn't clicked yet. Unless I just called it right and it is going to be the aggro try and that's it. It's just kind of a, I mean, Monkey King Venno Rubik. How is that as an aggro try? I'm trying. It's not conventional, but that doesn't mean it's not good.
Pretty diseased. They can do a lot of damage and they can probably get a lot of farm, but is that really the most effective use of your resources?
Well, I mean, sort of. I mean, when you're aggro tri laning,
are we frozen here? What's going on?
Big part of the. I think there was a spectator. I think that. No, maybe there wasn't. I don't know. I don't know why that took so long. Actually.
Well, anyway.
But all three of those heroes are pretty good in a tri-lane scenario. Think about Rubik. He's got Fade Bolt, so that's AoE damage that's bouncing around. That's pretty good in 3v3 situations. Venno obviously does a lot of AoE poison damage, whether he's going for the ward build or for more of like a right-clicker or Venomous Gale, whatever you want to call that. He still does a lot of AoE damage, pretty good in tri-lane scenarios. And then Monkey King, also Primal Spring. That's a big slow. You think about Venomous Gale on top of Primal Spring, you're not running away from that. So, potential there. But were we wrong? It looks like Venno is heading up to the safe lane.
Yeah, it
looks like Volker's headed mid and Puck is headed off lane.
TC Venno, ladies and gentlemen.
So, okay, I think honestly last time I saw a situation like this was it Elimination Mode 3? Maybe Elimination Mode 2, Arteezy playing the safe lane Venno?
I think it was all the way back in EM2.
It might have been EM2. Yeah, that sounds right. So, yeah, Brax takes the puck. So, I was half right, half wrong.
We called the offlane puck.
I was right about the offlane puck. That's good.
The jungle Venno, though, I thought it was going to be...
I did not think it would just be a straight TC position 1 Venomancer. This is pretty exciting.
That's bold. I like it. And, of course, Invoker now going to be juggling up and heading mid.
The
T-Swift fan.
So really. This is pretty cool, though. Venno, very much a tempo hero. And I know we've said that about a number of heroes this broadcast. But for Venno, it's a little bit different because he hits a wall where his damage just stops. Oh, jeez, this Monkey King.
He's playing with fire.
But there comes a point where once Venno has Ags, Veil, Blink, pretty much those three, and then he's level 18, so he has the maxed out ult. That's where his damage kind of stops. And after that, you could get Octarine Core, you can kind of look into like Necronomicon, you could go for like aura-based items after that. Sometimes we saw like Mjolnir, for example, just to get more magic damage mixed in there. But after those 3 core items, like Ag, Veil, Blink, there isn't a natural transition for Venomancer. And it's not like a Priestess of the Moon that we used to see where you could go Spellcaster and the game goes on long enough, you transition into right-click. Venno never really gets to do that. So his power spike is just really weird.
Oh, Brax already having a tough time dealing with that level 1 poison touch.
See, dude, I mean, you can't phase shift the poison. It's brutal.
I mean, you can phase shift the initial hit, but no.
But still, like, look at this zombie.
Oh,
look at this guy.
Is he actually dead?
I don't think so.
No, okay. He's still got a salve if things get nasty, but wow, okay.
But as we were talking about, I mean, solo offlane Puck, difficult in this situation.
Oh, Monkey King is already back and feisty, but that was Earth Spirit just having some really good rotations up in the top lane.
Probably just going blow for blow. Almost saw the first blood down, got him. Can't blame you for that one. And now the counter kill onto Zombie.
Do they have enough damage, though?
It's going to be close.
One more hit. Oh, wow. That Monkey King stab is really ridiculous.
My God.
What the hell?
It was like a max range, and then he's still got another step forward.
What?
Yeah, to be fair, it's a pretty long stick that he's got there.
That's a long stick, but it can't stretch. All right, here we go. T-Swift fan in some trouble here. He ate up the Iron Branch Tango, but still not enough regen to get through that.
An ambitious tree eating there. Way too much damage.
Yeah. So,
good kill mid.
Definitely going to be a high-octane game. Up in the top lane, we've got IX Mike playing a very glitzed out Centaur, so he should be keeping himself safe, but I think the pressure is going to continue mid and bottom.
I think what's really interesting about this match, though, is looking at the difference in power spike. This is a very clear-cut case where Radiant have the late game advantage, 100%. I mean, no doubt about it. Up top, we'll see Fluff take a little bit of right-click damage. The Orb of Venom slowing him down enough for Centaur to get the stun, and I think this will be a kill.
Yep.
Very nice.
No chance to bail out into the neutrals here. Crippling Depression. Maybe going to get wrapped around on here. Zombie trying to force out the phase shift, but gets the poison touch off anyway.
Yep. And Monkey King?
He's doing Monkey King things. So may get the kill here. Looks like there is going to be a Sunstrike coming in, and it will be enough to kill off the Dazzle. Now, bruh, going to be trying to go and finish off KVH, but everyone will get back safely here. Very nice initiation and contribution from the Invoker.
Yeah, no, that's kind of the dream. When Invoker can get the proxy kills like that, at this stage, Invoker is just a hard farmer. All he wants to do is sit in lane and get Sunstrike kills. So a road to recovery, especially after that little spill he took there in the mid lane just a few minutes ago. But yeah, anyhow, you know, Ember Spirit, Jug, and then with a Centaur on top of that, their late game is great. And you look at the Dire, you've got Puck, doesn't scale particularly well. Venno definitely doesn't scale particularly well.
Ooh.
And then you're left with the Invoker, who he scales, but you know, he ain't no Spectre.
Mike, he's super tanky. Doesn't have enough mana for a hoof stomp here, so
I think he's
he's
dead.
I think he's okay. Fluff, they got the
Fade
Fade
Bolt,
Bolt, but no telekinesis, so they just can't hold him back. Oh!
That was pretty close. That was pretty darn close.
That was...
They didn't want to dive much further than that. So.
Yeah, that was probably their last hit, and they would have just backed off after that, so...
Yeah.
All is said and done there. Centaur gonna take a kill. Pretty unfortunate. You don't really expect him to die in that lane.
No. But that's the part of the scary part of Venno. His slows are pretty nasty. KBH, easy spin.
Yep.
So
got the Jingu mastery.
What I'm getting at, though, about the late game stuff is what is the timing for the Dire? I mean, Fire are going to have to crank this up. They pull Mike out.
A little bit of miscommunication there. Sunstrike would have hit if Rubik hadn't pulled back the telekinesis. So going to be a 1-for-1, and we'll see if Fluff's going to get away from this one. It looks like he should be able to scurry back under tower, but
Mike gets the advantage. He gets the kill first, so that's pretty good. He gets the experience out of it. Fluff with some ring around the rosy.
Trying to go and sandwich in the Earth Spirit. He's going to roll himself to freedom. And with Venomancer back in the lane, that's all she wrote.
Nice side steps. Oh, go back up. Gale, I think it hit on him.
Yeah, it did. He's slow.
And they know he doesn't have Boulder. He's also really low on mana. There's the Sunstrike.
Perfect there. So Invoker gets what he needs. Unfortunately, might go down, though.
Fluff set that whole thing up, though. Very nicely done. Trump, he dives past the tower. The fairy fire. Not enough.
Trump, though. One more tower shot.
Haste. The bottle sips.
Oh, man. Okay, so
he lives.
He's got a Guardian Angel up there. Well played from him. Invoker, at least he gets a kill before he goes down, keeping that money high. And
does he have anything on the courier? Like, does he at least have gloves on the courier or something, though? Yeah, okay, he's got his gloves. All right. Phew.
Yeah.
I was going to say, did he die before buying those? How is that possible?
No, he's got a good chunk of money.
But, I mean, it's still not amazing. You know, we're 5 minutes in, Invoker nowhere near the Midas. Still, you know, like 1,200 gold to go or something. This is pretty far behind where the Invoker wants to be right now.
Yeah, he's just got to keep getting those Sunstrike kills. And, I mean, the Radiant have been doing a great job just keeping up the pressure on him. He can never really feel safe just sitting back, cruising the map for Sunstrikes. He's really got to stay heads up because you got Earth Spirit just tumbling in. You've got Dazzle rotating pretty frequently, too. So, we'll see.
Is Venno, I assume, going Veil first? No, he hasn't decided yet. Okay, or hasn't told us yet.
Just flying in some more stats there. TC going to play a very stats-heavy Venno.
I mean, that TC is really renowned for his ability to farm. Like, he's really good at mechanically farming. And I think historically where he's struggled a little bit is that decision-making of when to commit to a fight and when to commit to farming. You know, like back in the day, you'd see those, well, we just lost that 4v5, but hey, TC split pushing, that's good. And Venno's a very different style than that. So, again, I'm just curious how he's going to itemize.
Got some action brewing here. There's going to be a Sunstrike setting up for an Earth Spirit kill. Now, Bruh slaps out that staff. Trump trying to get the burn, but
my.
Jingu Mastery is balanced, ladies and gentlemen.
That was a close call. And Dazzle was right nearby, too, looking for a heal bomb. No shallow grave, but a heal would have made all the difference there.
Yep.
Okay, so pretty good stuff for the Dire. They catch him.
Yeah, wow, they're committing everything. Dazzle, without the grave, they know they can punish him. He's going to be trying to heal through it.
And I think they know he doesn't have the grave.
Yeah. He's just going down short and sweet there. Trump respawning, gets himself back into the mid lane. Monkey King still rocking the Jingu Mastery for another couple of seconds, but is he, no, he's not going to be going too crazy with this one. They do have the Earth Spirit up here on the side, ready to roll in if they want to turn this around.
Yeah, this could get really interesting. 3v2 breaking out in the mid lane. What level's the Monkey King? 3? Okay, here we go.
He's jumping in. They don't find any damage onto Trump there. They get the cold snap off, and they're going to be lifting him back down in. Earth Spirit still taking his time to roll in, but does get the 3-man stun. Look at the damage coming out of there. Immediate blow up onto the Monkey King. Fluff now running for his life. No way he gets out of there. And looks like T-Swift fan will be able to escape as Puck comes in to soak some XP, but still not ideal for the Dire squad.
Yeah. Definitely not. That's a huge setup. That is close to the dream. The Spirit Brothers. Insane burst damage. That's one of the scarier parts of Ember Spirit. Like right when he rolls over level 6, level 7, the amount of burst he can put out with the triple remnant or even a double remnant is pretty much exactly what we just saw right there.
Yep, and Earth Spirit just set that one up really nicely, played very patient, waiting for the perfect initiation, and now, well, speaking of initiations, he may have overstayed his welcome there, so he's going to be biting the dust, but still worth.
Very ambitious. Brax just sitting there, level 6, full HP, full mana. He's like, all right, well,
I'll take it.
Will be happy to drop my full rotation on you, and more than enough.
Brax about 500 gold off his Hand of Midas, so
okay,
definitely trying to take this a little later, getting that value out of it now. Fluff, invised up, gets a good amount of vision on what's going down mid. 3 heroes now scouted out for him.
Yeah. So, Hand of Midas, again, just to reiterate, not reworked exactly, but big nerf to the amount of XP you get out of it, and a buff to compensate for the amount of gold you get out of it. 190 now up to 220. So yeah. I wonder how it'll start to affect strategy like this, because Puck is a hero that, yeah, sure, the gold is great, but I feel like you really buy it for the experience, so that your offlane Puck can be a little more mobile, but still try to keep tempo and not fall too many levels behind.
And Dazzle just eats a whole... Oh, yeah, this Dazzle's done. Yep. He's got the Grave, but it's not even worth popping it out.
Now a rotation down bottom. Looks like they're on the way in. They want a potential gank on the Juggernaut.
Yeah, I think they're just biding their time here. They want to keep eyes on him, though, because Juggernaut has had some free farm. Sorry about that. Last hit chart net worth. We got Venno all the way up at the top.
I was going to say, one of those trees was a Monkey King.
All right, going in here. Whoa! But the tornado! Oh, to save himself from the hoof stomp. It may still be too late. T-Swift fan does still go down, but earns a little bit of style on his way out.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. I'm surprised he got that tornado off. That's now.
Oh, Jingu Mastery up on Bruh. Let's see if they can connect onto Trump. They bring Brax in. They do have the Dream Coil now. So all they need is one more hit. Yeah, there they go. They got him.
That's a sad Ember Spirit. At that point, he's like,
he resigned himself. Yeah.
Well played, sir. You have the Trump card.
Get it? Because his name is Trump.
Good rotation from Brax, though. He's been very heads up with the puck this game. Keeping tempo with the...
KVH, you crazy, man.
With the Centaur counterpart. So he's in pretty deep here.
Yeah, he doesn't have any mana. They know he's got no Blade Fury. He pops out the Healing Ward, and that's going to immediately get picked off. Now, they're lacking on a little bit of lockdown there. Sunstrike comes through, doesn't catch him. But now he's lifted back, the Blade Fury going, but the right clicks are going to be enough.
Yeah, and you know, when the opposition knows that your Omni Slash is down, it gets a little bit harder to make those aggressive plays like that, because they know there's no turn potential where he can just burst somebody down. And it's really just a matter of stay the course, don't let him chop you too many times. It's a pretty easy kill. Fire, get yet another one. Starting to pull into the lead a little bit. 1,200 net worth lead, but it's been all over the place. Yeah, very back and forth. We've seen really a pretty high octane game. 9-13 in 11 minutes. A lot of bloodshed, a lot of kills. And here's the level chart. Are we close to some ultimates here? Rubik just shy of 6, and Dazzle the under-leveled position 5.
He'll get
Not
there.
even 5 yet.
He's working on it. All right, now Radiant, they're smoked up here, maybe trying to go for a... Oh, I'm so isolated, but there we go. Bruh just jumps in and gets some good vision of the area. Brax ready to go in for a Dream Coil, but going to be a tricky initiation. And everyone just kind of stays away. A little no man's land going on here.
Yep. Ember Spirit looking for the Veil first item. All right, so not going to rush the BOTs as we saw game prior.
And Juggernaut just eating tower shots like it's the hot new diet fad.
Yeah, they got a lot of sustainability, though. So how about the Venos items? Has he committed to the Veil or anything else? He's Midas, I guess, huh?
Flying himself in the Midas. Yeah, we are really raking in the Midases, even with the change.
Yeah, I mean, we referenced that Elimination Mode 2 game where Arteezy played the Position 1 Veno. Somewhat similar to this. And I think he went Midas that game as well. So it's not that crazy. He's #1 on net worth. You want to hit... like I said, Veno has that wall that he hits, and you kind of want to get to that point as quickly as possible. And if you can, use the Midas on top of that 30% extra XP he gets at level 10, which he just skilled up. Veno, this is the window. Like... now and the next 10 minutes are when Veno needs to put the pressure on. Like, they want to take some team fights. His ult does an insane amount of damage. And looking back at it, the Rubik might have been a slight deny pick, making sure that they couldn't pick it up themselves.
Where's is Monkey King a tree? Yeah, Monkey King is this tree on top of a tree right here. If we no, can't see it. He's very tall. Trump is going to get hit with the snot there, slowed down by the gale. I've already not noticed that there's an unusually large tree there.
I don't think so.
Because that one's a little bit easy to see.
It looks peculiar when you know, but if you don't know, it looks sort of just like a perspective thing, you know, because the camera's angled. It's hard to tell.
Well, he's going in now. They will find the Dazzle. Take him out with the Boundless Strike. Dazzle just going to try to heal himself up and not even going to try with the Grave. The Centaur ult makes things a little bit easy to disengage. And now Juggernaut spinning around. Might find the kill on Bruh as well. That's a double kill for him. He's graved up. Now Centaur just stamping around. They're going to miss the kill on Crippling Depression, but they find it with the double edge. And TC just eating a full Magnetize. He's in some trouble and will be killed off as well. So unfortunately, the only survivor that was the Invoker. Did Dazzle buy back? I believe so.
Did he buy back? Or did he just respawn quickly because he's so underleveled? He might have just respawned. Oh, no, he bought back.
Yeah,
wow.
Because I remember he went down without his Grave, and then immediately after there was a Grave in the fight. So I'm like, wow, I thought Dazzle was dead.
Yeah. Okay, so it was a 3 for 4 then with the buyback. But I guess at this stage it probably was not very costly. We won't get to see the recap, unfortunately. Hopefully it pops up now. But the main thing about that fight is it was a 4v5. And this is the stage of the game where Invoker does not want to show up to team fights. He wants to split push, work on his solo XP, and that's very standard. It's not a flame of the Invoker. Man, why weren't you in that fight? But it's part of the reason why this draft for Fire is a little bit difficult, because you have some heroes that want to go pedal to the metal, like Veno, that want to fight right now and dive and put on pressure like that alongside the Monkey King. But then you have this whole other side where you have an Invoker who really doesn't want to participate in that. And it's hard to commit that deep into enemy territory 4v5. I mean, at some point, they just have... This fight
seems so desperate. You had Monkey King on this tree jumping in, like, over here without any real dire vision aside from one ward.
And like, with the Dazzle buyback, it's kind of like a 6v4, you know? And it's...
Under their shrine, too. Like, it just seemed like a really hasty fight.
And on top of that, Radiant already have the sustainability advantage. You've got Healing Ward from the Jug, and you've got the Heal Bombs from the Dazzle. So in those longer kind of spread out fights like that, they will generally come out ahead. They have some tools to mitigate Veno's damage over time. You hit 4 heroes with your ult. Well, Jug's there with a Healing Ward that can heal up said heroes almost as quickly as they're taking damage.
Not easy right now. Kill score, I mean, relatively even. Net worth, not out of control, but like you mentioned, it's all about momentum, and it's about dire scaling into the late game, and right now they're... A
lot on this Veno. The good news is that the Veno is pretty far away from hitting that wall where he's going to hit max damage, so that is something.
Man, Puck is a little bit in there. Got the silence off on the Ember, but that silence does not last forever. A couple of remnants dumped out. Dream Coil spent, and Brax will bite the dust.
A noble effort.
Yeah,
like you said, mitigated all the remnant damage, but it's too much. That poison touch Dazzle.
So we got Radiant definitely picking up some speed here. How do Radiant really keep that going? Like, what are the smart fights to take for them, or do they just split push? Like, how do Radiant really keep on top of this?
It's good decision making. I don't know, there isn't really a secret special answer, I don't think. Just they know that the onus is on the Dire to put pressure on. So I think Radiant are pretty happy, like, at this stage of the game, if they can break even and farm, I think they would take that.
Yeah, looking at net worth right now, Veno, Invoker, top of the charts.
The only thing that makes it scary is the Midas disadvantage. There's at least 2 Midases on the Dire, and I don't think Radiant have any.
3. We got
3 Midases.
3 hands.
So I guess that aspect makes it a little bit scary to just sit back and passively farm, but I think the general point is that they just have the stronger late game. You know, like 45 minutes in, they're just going to start to outscale them. So from that aspect, I think there's very little incentive for the Radiant to force the issues. You know, absolutely, if you can find pickoffs, go for it. But I think what's more important is just farming, maintaining map control, and getting your cores closer to that point where they actually want to take fights. Like, how's Centaur's item?
Big double-decker tree again.
All right, he's got the blink, so that's a step.
Yep. Back in here towards the mid lane. We got our Veno, who went for the Dragon Lance. Not going to stop for the Veil, so... I mean, okay, so he wants to just sit back and be safe in these fights, I guess.
No, I mean, Hurricane Pike's a great item on Veno, and having that extra range is awesome. Maybe I lied earlier. Maybe there's a right-clicking Veno build that we're about to see that I'm not privy to. I'm surprised. I'm quite curious now.
Radiant, they're ready to get this fight started, and there is going to be a Invoker contributing to that kill on IX Mike, and now Bruh He's trying to run away, turns into another tree, and they've got Brax in the fight. They get the silence off on the Ember, but only going to last so long. Dream Coil keeping going. They hold him up, but Trump still sitting there, comfortable in the Wukong's command. The Dire skirting around. Well, they got Monkey King now, and there's no way he gets out of that. TC, okay, he spends out an ult, gonna take a solo Omni Slash. Fluff comes in to help mitigate some of the damage potentially, but really not able to do a whole lot to save our Veno there.
Man, this Veno is just not feeling that effective. They group up, they split some of the damage.
Got him.
We'll get a counter kill, that's something. Brax on the way, does not join.
That's so risky there with the Juggernaut still relatively healthy.
Yeah. All of his friends are missing too. I see why Brax didn't go for it. He was also low on mana, so what's the play? But yeah, Veno is just... That
was not fun.
It's tough. He's got the level 2 ultimate, but I'm surprised he doesn't have Veil. I mean, maybe I'm overvaluing the item, but I think on a hero like Veno, the damage it gives you on top of the survivability it gives you. Like, the great thing about Veil is the easy build-up and the amazing stats. Double null tally. You know, you get just a little bit of meat on the bones.
I mean, I was going to say maybe Puck could go for it, but Puck shows no signs of picking up any null
that's fair. I mean, I think Puck could definitely pick it up, too.
Oh, we got a fight. Here we go. IX Mike trying to run himself in and out of the fight. There is going to be a nice Sunstrike, but in the end, Veno still goes down again. They will find the return kill in the Dazzle, but they do have to trade away their Rubik as well. This could be big. If T-Swift fan can find some kills on Trump, would be nice. They get the Jingu Mastery off, and a Crippling Depression goes in. They do get the Dream Coil onto one. KVH, though, he's there. No Omni Slash at the ready, but can still spin around. IX Mike with a double stun. Double edge, and yep, that's Invoker now trapped. Very dangerous zone for him to be in. Will be able to Ghost Walk himself away. Brax now trying to hop back to his orb, and he'll get away safely, but in the end, still Radiant favored trade.
Somehow Dire is still farming through this, though. Their advantage is slowly growing up to about 3,000 gold. It's going to dip now that Radiant pick off this tower, but again, just like last game, it feels like the team that's taking control of these fights should be winning, but it's not exactly the case.
I mean, a lot of the farm is concentrated on this Invoker, who's been, I mean, doing really well. He's 7-3-3, finding the Sunstrike kills when he can.
He's been very efficient. He's been split pushing a lot, and like you said, using the Sunstrike very effectively. And he's going to pick up BOTs now. So this should make it easier for the Invoker to get the best of both worlds, where he can split push and then come in and join the fights once they break out.
Going to be a big movement here to the top lane. We'll see if anyone on the Dire can really contest this, but the Radiant seem to have just such a wall of damage that you can't cross into. Ambitious TP coming out of our Invoker, maybe just trying to bait out some spells there. So everyone gets back, everyone's alive. We've got TC tossing out a little Plague Ward there, making sure no one wraps up that way, but and it feels like our Veno is really going to be stagnant until he picks up the Aghanims, which is still a ways off.
Is that Hurricane Pike? Oh, whoa.
He's trying to split push, man. He's all about it. He's got the maxed out wards and just wants to sit there, place them down, let them do their work.
I am not all about this build, man.
I don't know if I'm riding that train either.
Why BOTs? BOTs are amazing on some heroes, and 20 minutes on Veno, I don't really see the value. Like, compared to a Blink Dagger, you know, when he can sit back a little bit and then jump into fights and get off a really good ultimate, I feel like an item like that is just so strong on Veno. They'll get a pick off on Dazzle. I mean, that's nice.
And TC gets the credit for it, so more money going his way.
And BOTs, all right.
We'll see what he's doing, because he is a really effective split pusher, but the problem is he's just kind of defenseless if he gets caught out.
See, like, I thought he picked up Dragonlance because he just wanted some stats in lieu of not having the Veil. And then he was just going to go into the Hurricane Pike, you know, mobility. If you're thinking, well, this is a hard game for Blink, I'm probably going to, you know, take some damage from Ember Spirit, whoever else. I want to make sure I can still get into fights. There you go. That's Force Staff in a nutshell, right? It's like the poor man's Blink Dagger that lets you thrive in those situations. So I think Hurricane Pike is great on Veno, but mostly because of the Force Staff, not really because of the Dragonlance.
It's decent stats, and we'll see what TC can do with it. Again, you already called it out. He is notorious for just farming like a fiend. So he should have his next item in no time. Yeah,
it's going for the Ags, though. So it's like sort of investing in almost like a right-clicking Veno, and now he's going to go back into
Fluff with the frantic pings, like, help, I'm burning, something hurts really bad. Sunstrike, not going to be there in time.
Okay, well, Fluff lives. That's kind of the real victory, I think. Dazzle going for a Glimmer Cape. very good item here.
Yeah, IX might go in, and he already has the... Ooh, TC just...
Is he going for a pipe?
Yeah, he already has the hood, and this is just such a good pipe game.
Yeah.
Invoker, Venomancer,
yeah.
Rubik even, you just can't touch them.
Nah, you're totally right. If there was ever a pipe game, I mean, I guess if maybe they had a Tinker instead of a Monkey King or something, but...
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's definitely core. I mean, hell, this could be a game where double pipe is...
It's not bad. It mitigates so much.
It might not be Value Town, but it's definitely not bad.
Wow,
They'll get a freebie down bottom.
Speaking of Value Town, that's just a full Wukong's command.
Back towards mid, Veno's dying. And it's another kill.
Yeah, now Stolen ult coming out of Fluff there, so they got a little bit of speed for themselves, but is it really enough to get back and turn this? Doesn't appear so. Down bottom, the tier 2 was taken out, so Dire making themselves worthwhile. Radiant gonna go Shrine up. Bruh, still crawling around here. Low health Monkey King playing. Very, very dangerous game. They're eating through the trees. They know he's around.
Yeah. It's a little bit of luck involved if you happen to eat the right tree. He gets stunned for, what, like 3 seconds or something if you kill his tree?
Yeah, he just comes tumbling down.
It's basically a free kill if you're able to kill him, chop down his tree when he's on it. Even though it seems easy to do, I think it's actually pretty difficult and competitive because it's just he can. What's the cooldown on being able to jump? It's really short. It's like 3 seconds.
It's pretty much nothing.
So even if you sort of see him fly over and you think you know where he is, by the time you can get there and then get into the tree line, it's pretty hard. Unless you have somebody like Enigma who can just not instantly clear an entire big area, but that's a fairly rare.
Yeah. I mean, Timbersaw also
yeah,
pretty good.
Timbersaw is up on the list. Well, I talked about Bat Rider earlier because he can clear trees, but I think it's pretty bad. You don't kill them fast enough. So once you come flying over, any good Monkey King player should be able to be like, wow, there's a Bat Rider flying over here with Firefly on. Maybe I should jump to the trees on the other side.
Yeah, unless you get that like initial strip of land that he's on, it's like not easy.
You can always guess it with Blink Dagger, I guess, but it's, yeah, maybe not the most effective counter.
So things kind of stagnating out a little bit. 6,000 net worth in favor of Team Fire right now, but I mean that doesn't really tell the whole story. Like we talked about how Radiant are just going to be having their cores scale so nicely late game, and Dire kind of got to keep that pressure up.
They got to get through the hard part though.
Oh,
did Brax not have a silence there?
He's budgeting it. One more. Oh, the smoke.
That was pretty clutch. Brax tried to style on him, and in fact, Brax got styled.
Brax got one up tier now.
That was sick, though. That was a really good smoke. That was very well done. One of those little mechanics that a lot of people forget about, but smoke does disjoint auto attacks like that.
Oh, now Trump in some trouble. Trying to limp to his remnant. He makes it up to the high ground. Not going to get clipped by the Sunstrike now. Friends come in, but the Deafening Blast will totally disable the Earth Spirit. And there is going to be a Wukong's command coming out. Monkey King, though, finished off before it really even gets started. And now the rest of the Radiant joining forces. Brax in some unfriendly territory wants to find the kill on Mike and will be able to do so.
He already omnied. He can't do anything.
Fire end up really heavily winning that fight.
Wow.
That was really nice on them.
A lot of things went wrong for Freedom there, right? Ember in a little bit too deep. He almost lives. The Earth Spirit comes flying in to try to save the Ember. But kind of the worst case scenario happens. The Earth Spirit just ends up plummeting to his death. He still doesn't save the Ember Spirit. And yeah, like they killed the Monkey King. It did stop his ult, but the rest of his team just got cleaned up. It was a nice Omni Slash from Jug, but outside of that,
double damage done.
Felt like they were really short on damage. Yeah. Oh my God. Where did most of it come from? It was just spread across the board. Puck did a lot. Veno did a lot.
Veno got off yeah.
Looks like a multi-hero Poison Nova. Hard to tell exactly how many people got hit by it, but
I want to see how much damage done total by TC Veno at the end of this game. Let's take some estimates. What do you think?
Well, it truly depends how long the game goes. When the game ends before we check, I'll give you a number.
Okay.
But it's really, it varies a lot. I mean, Veno could do like 60K or something if this is a 45-minute game and he keeps getting off big ultimates.
At least, yeah. He's having some fun.
So it can be a lot for sure.
So, anyway, things kind of going back to even. Still not a whole lot of love for our Roshan here at 26 minutes.
No minus armor. I don't think anybody can kill it fast enough to feel safe doing it. No medallions, no meld strike, anything like that. Wait, actually, are there any medallions?
Medallions.
F5 or Solar? Nope.
Nope.
Basher on the Monkey King, though. That is... Oh. That's pretty early, isn't it? For a... I mean, he's not really a core, so that's... If I were Monkey King right now, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, it's good.
Good timing.
Basher before Echo Saber. I mean, just making that choice of what do you want your monkeys to do.
Yeah.
I guess it's more utility.
I want to say the Basher is better, but I don't know.
We're going in. We got the fight started out. Nice tornado again, making sure that the Stampede can't close the distance that much. And Juggernaut is able to slice and dice the Monkey Kings. The Wukong's command won't be doing much. And well, now the rest of Dire's on the run. Brax should be able to make it out with his Illusory Orb. And not a whole lot of gap close right now coming in from the Radiant. Just going to let these guys off with a warning.
Uh-huh. If only that was the old time, where Monkey King's ult stayed active after he dies.
That is a change I do not miss.
I mean, I don't miss it either, but that's one of those situations where you really feel it. You know, if that thing had stayed alive, it would have been completely different. But KVH just with a single hero Omni Slash, in that situation, I don't think there's a better hero that you can catch.
Yeah, that's like, what, twice in a row now that Monkey King has been like, all right, guys, I got this with my Wukong's command, and then just immediately sponges up all the damage.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's a compliment to the Juggernaut player. He knows the high-value target.
Mike going to be scooting himself away now. Bra is coming back in.
This Invoker's fat, though, dude. He's farming.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He's got himself the makings of an Octarine.
So TC has Ags now on the Veno. One of the big items in terms of damage boost for him. One of the main things is getting that ultimate down to a 60-second cooldown. So you get to this point where you just feel like you can use your ult kind of any time. You know, just Dazzle pops up, fuck it, just ult, you know.
Yeah, it's worth it.
The damage increase is big, but I think the cooldown is almost just as big.
I wish it were lethal.
Yeah.
I wish that was like part of the Ags upgrade, is just make it lethal.
I'm still shocked they don't have a Veil, though. Alongside the puck, it's just such a good Veil game, regardless of who gets it.
Well, going in, it looks like Invoker may have bit off more than he can chew here. He's going to be trying to drop some meatballs. And okay, the rest of his team coming in. They are going to dump out an ult onto Trump, who just dies. And that's really it for the Veno ult. Now the rest of the Dire trying to stay back, fight in the circle, pick this choke point for themselves. But they're not going to find what they need there. It is going to be Invoker for Ember. Dead for similar amounts of time, and I think both teams are like, all right, let's just draw the line in the sand, get back, leave it as is. So, lead still hovering around 8,000. It's big, but it's not accelerating.
It's solid.
Yeah,
it's holding steady. I'm still, I don't know. I'm just confused about the Veno. I thought I understood how Veno tempo works, and watching this game, TC is redefining it for me. No, I'm not saying it's not a flame. It's just I think of Veno as a hero that has a wall is the perfect, like a very clear point where his damage just doesn't really increase anymore. And now that he has the Ags, like that point is coming, right? Like the ultimate that's his big source of damage, and it doesn't get much stronger from here. So how does that affect this game? Like what happens when they get another pipe, right? That's where his ult just starts to tickle. There's no doubt Veno falls off. So I'm just infinitely curious how they're going to try to play around that. I mean, that's not a secret. You know, that's not some next level insight. Everybody knows that. Anyone who's played Veno in a game that's lasted more than 45 minutes knows those feels when you hit a 4-hero ult and they pop a pipe and you're like, well, I did 10% damage, guys. It's great.
Oh, did you see that play by Mike? Just fast
nice
fingers in the blink.
But, you know, that will happen this game at some point. And it doesn't really feel like Fire are too concerned about it. You know, they're just playing a very standard farm-oriented mid-game here where, I mean, they're taking opportunities to fight. I wouldn't say they're playing particularly passive, but they're not playing like they're on some kind of a timer where they need to end this game. So.
Oh, yeah, that's going to slow TC down a fair amount.
Yeah, that's a pretty big setup. Not much the poor guy could do.
Wow, okay. Puck actually completed that TP. I thought that was just going to be a threaten. Okay. Not going to get punished for that. Meanwhile, in the jungle, you got Fluff
and Dazzle.
They're going head-to-head, but I think Fluff wants to bail on that. Interesting weave connecting on no one.
Yeah. Well, it was sort of a weird play in general. Like, Fluff immediately said, okay, he's got friends. I'm out of here. And you could tell the Dazzle was thinking, you know, I wonder why Fluff is here. Maybe he's got some friends. I'm going to weave and scout it out. And then they both just ran away, and that was it.
Just Fluff doing Fluff things.
Yeah.
So our Invoker, I mean, again, he's fat. He's top of the net worth chart now. Completed Octarine. He's been working on that for a while, but
always a big guy to pick up.
Yeah, you talked about it. You hit the nail on the head. Veno is going to stop feeling impactful at some point. Puck's still not scaling up quite enough to feel like a big core.
He'll go for the Aghanims, and this is one of the better scaling items. It allows the ultimate to go through BKB and gives it a huge stun. Is it like 4.5 seconds or something if you break the tether? Yeah, so it's massive.
Oh, they're going in. They find a kill here. It's only going to be on the lowly Earth Spirit, but they'll take it.
Yeah, kill's a kill. But you're right. I mean, one of the big issues with Puck, you know, historically, like why the hero started falling out of popularity is that it just felt too early game focused. You know, once the other team gets BKBs, what does Puck do against it? So finally they added that Aghanims that gives Puck some kind of a tool against BKB, but it still requires them to, you know, snap the tether while BKB'd, which is, you know, not ideal. It reminds me of the Lina talent a little bit where, yeah, it's good, but it requires you to be dead to be effective.
Speaking of being dead and effective, Invoker, unfortunately, hits the deck. I mean, he's got his Octarine, but that's not keeping him alive.
I mean, Freedom consistently finding these scrappy kills, little pickoffs like that. How's Mike doing? What are we looking at item-wise here? Surely he has the pipe, Force Staff, and Aghanims on the way. So, yeah, this Centaur is getting pretty meaty himself.
Yeah, Juggernaut, no slacker either. Looks like he's going in for the Scotty after the full Manta Diffusal Blink. So, I mean, his kit's just about where it needs to be right now. So this is, it feels like Invoker has to do so much heavy lifting for Fire right now. Puck just isn't there yet. Veno's starting to fall off. This is where Invoker can shine, but he's just on his own so much.
What's Veno's other talent? I know one of them is the Plague Wards.
Respawn.
Respawn time, yeah.
I mean, it's 60 seconds. That's a lot of respawn time, but you don't want to be dead that much anyway.
I mean, think about it this way. Lina has a 30-second respawn time at level 15, so 60 at 25 is like, I mean, it's not terrible, but I just saw somebody in chat saying, well, Veno's late game is in the Plague Wards, which...
I mean, kind of, yeah, but is that really going to slow down?
They're annoying. That's the thing. Like,
I guess it can cancel blinks. That's nice.
I mean, that is nice, and I put that under the category of annoying, right? Like that. Once he gets that talent, they're hard to kill. They have like over 1,000 HP, so you can't, you know, just sit there and right-click them down. But I don't know if that's really like game-changing late game. Ooh, nice Veno ult though.
Gets an ult onto 2. Is probably going to pay the ultimate price for this. Monkey King goes into the Wukong's command. We'll be able to find 3 heroes in it. Nice tornado holding him in place. The Dream Coil as well. This is huge, but can they actually finish it off? Juggernaut still spinning round and round, still taking damage as Puck is going to be rooted in place. The Sunstrike off the mark now, and Trump invising his way towards Freedom. So in the end, only 2 heroes down. Oh, they find Mike in the trees, using the Courier to keep giving vision. Taunting Mike with it. Very well played. That could have easily gone the other way.
Yeah, I want to see the damage done on that recap.
Or not even done. They got Ember. And now there's going to be a Sunstrike. Oh!
Beautiful.
Gorgeous here. They get him with the stupid little Monkey King bar. And now...
Hit the recap. Hit the recap. Della's going to die.
I got it. Oh, no.
Well, I'm sure Veno did 4,000 damage or something that fight. Like some really goofy amount. Really good ult. I mean, that's... From Fire's perspective, in terms of starting off a team fight with somebody dying, that is the dream. Veno hits at least 3 heroes with his ultimate. He dies first, and then it sets it up for a beautiful Wukong's command from the high ground, the follow-up from Invoker, the combo hit on like 3 heroes. Really nice setup.
Invoker got so much money from that. He killed like all the high bounty targets.
The ultra kill.
And he's got himself a BKB when he wants it. And this is going to be a Roshan. They've got Earth Spirit up.
I don't think there is anything. I mean, he could try some sort of a clutch, like roll in and steal type thing. But and you can see how long it takes him to kill Rosh. This is part of the reason why we haven't seen anybody try it until now. This is even 35 minutes in. It takes him that long.
Yeah, with a farmed Invoker doing all his right-click damage, that's, yeah.
It's really amazing how different, like, you can approach Roshan depending on your comp. You know, if you have any minus armor at all.
We saw that TA Slardar game earlier where at 15 minutes that was just sliding down like a neutral creep.
Exactly. And you don't even think of it as risky. You know, you get one pick-off with a lineup like that. It's like, okay, easy Rosh. And here, they were 35 minutes in. They get a full team wipe, and they're still. I don't want to say they were barely able to kill Rosh, but it was a little closer than you'd like to admit, given how farmed everybody is at this stage. You
Absolutely. Know? So Dire, I mean, they still have the lead. They've had the net worth lead pretty much the whole game, but they finally get it back accelerating in their favor. It's just kind of been planing out around this point for the last 10 minutes, and maybe this is what pushes them over the edge, or maybe this is what lights the fire under Freedom's ass, and they continue to go and push and find really great rotations. Yeah,
mobility item now from Monkey King. He picks up the Lothars. And a full Scotty on the Juggernaut. A lot of that farm disparity now is just coming in. Actually, I thought it was coming in the supports, but it sort of isn't.
Pretty close.
Yeah, Earth Spirit is really farming quite well. The Big disparities coming in the off.
Oh, he's going for the other pipe. It's 2-pipe strat.
Smart.
I love this.
Very smart. Very smart. I like that change a lot, making it so pipes stack. I think that was a good change for Dota.
Oh, bro, he's stuck. Get out of there, man. All right, we're good. No, but I mean, this is, of any games to go double pipes, this is just about as perfect as you can get.
Yep. Yep. Tinker, like a Tinker with an Aghanims is that one other, like, it's just so much magic damage.
I mean, it's making it so no one has to feel pressured into that BKB. Juggernaut's already got his magic immune spin. Pipes are going to take care of most of the work.
That's actually true. And it's needed because not a lot of natural BKB carriers, right?
Yep.
You know, not something that Centaur or Ember Spirit ever really want to go for in an ideal scenario.
Oh, they're going in. There's going to be that stolen Stampede, but is there really going to be enough of an initiation here? T-Swift fan hits the Sunstrike and the Deafening Blast, but the Grave is enough to keep him alive. Meanwhile, top lane, there was some pressure in. Brax having to go back and deal with that as this tier 3 gets low.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm a little surprised Fire didn't. I thought when they popped the Stampede, they were just going to charge up the high ground, but they hesitated a little. I don't know if it was just like a miscall where.
It's a scary situation. There's all lots up.
Well, it's more. I don't know, like if Fluff made the call and then everyone just kind of went like, yeah, I don't know about that dude, or if it was sort of the opposite, you know. But obviously a moment of hesitation there.
Yeah, they do see Mike here, so could be a place to go in. They do get the lift. They have the damage though. They lead him right into that Deafening Blast, but he is able to force staff down to the low ground and get himself out. I mean, just back to your earlier point, you talked in draft about how you liked the Radiance lineup, but you just weren't really seeing what they were doing there. And this is a great way to respond to the Dire's draft. It's not a lot of BKB carriers, but they can make up for it really handily with the pipes. Juggernaut can take care of himself with the spin.
How's Ember's inventory looking?
That's pretty full.
Oh, you got a Scotty. Yeah. Okay, that's kind of neat.
Shivas?
Oh, that's what I meant. Sorry, Shivas. Yeah, that's...
I got a Scotty. That'd be neater, but...
Shivas, that's kind of cool. So, like, you prioritize Shivas over Octarine.
Oh, wow. Okay, Rubik's dead. Blown up there, and there is going to be time for Invoker to Ghost walk away. I guess better Rubik than Invoker. Just quick, easy pickings.
I don't think there's anything wrong with this Ember's build.
Oh, man.
Ember's build, but I'm really
curious. Just baited the puck so hard with that ward, but TC hits another nice ult. IX Mike going to be eating up a lot of that, and they force him out of that. Sunstrike, he's still burning low, and now Bra comes in. He's ready to jump with the Wukong's command, and they got Invoker wrapping around the other side. Monkey King is going to be leaving that friendly circle.
So much ability to disengage from the Radiant side. They're not going to find any of these kills. Ember, though.
If they can get the kill on Ember, that's huge.
He gets his Flame Guard purged off. Pretty frustrating here.
Yeah, they got the Cold Snap on him as well, but he is just out of there.
Mobile, yeah. Up top, they're about to lose the tier 3.
Yep.
Nobody's defending. Jug's just going in.
Well, now they got some defense, but tier 3 is already down. They lift him up. I mean, he's still got his full Omni Slash, and he's just going to spin TP out, and they don't have enough damage to take him out, so...
Wow, nice play from KVH. That opens up shrines, gets them a little bit of extra gold.
Yeah. Very nice way to keep the control on Roche, too.
Really good, just a heads-up call there, knowing that the rest of the team was kind of busy fighting, just caught back. Very nice. Freedom slowly edging themselves back into this game. 40 minutes in, consistently just finding little pickoffs here and there, these little debated moments. Not making this easy for Fire, but it's still Fire holding on to a pretty small lead. And again, finding scrappy plays themselves. Very back and forth game 2. Age
is now consumed, so don't have that safety blanket to rely on. And wow, Dazzle just charging through the trees. Still gets caught, though, as Brax is so mobile on this puck. Now there's got to be a TP back as Radiant. They're like, all right, you guys are going to focus bottom? Trump's just going to push in top, man, but unfortunately it does get caught out. Able to safety Remnant away. So just going to pretty much keep this pace. I mean, Radiant, they definitely have map control now. They feel safe being on the Dire side of the map. They feel safe farming here. And just really starting to deny the Dire a little bit of farm.
Yep, Fire definitely losing some of that map control. Looking for the opening.
Look at these double-deckered trees. It's so goofy.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't need to be in the trees. I guess you get better vision, but you're a lot more discreet if you're on the ground when you do that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's obvious when you know, but I think if you're just in the game and you kind of pass by it,
it's not really gonna stick
out. It's like, have you ever been in those situations where you're like, I guess if you're spectating and somebody puts down a sentry ward and you think, oh my god, how does that not not see it, and then you kind of like move the camera and zoom in on something, and then it changes the arc, and you're like, oh, okay, it's right on the edge.
Oh, here we go. We do have Invoker all the way out on his own, has his BKB rolling, and they bring in TC with the ult available.
Ooh.
Looks like IX Mike is going to pop his ult, trying to stampede out of this, but just keeps getting slowed down, and now Veno gives the big sneeze, and that's going to be an Earth Spirit hit by the ult. Meanwhile, Wukong's command down here doing a little bit of zoning work. Just they get 2 for free.
That was a difficult situation for Mike. You're like stuck in the Dream Coil, and you know if you snap the tether, you're 100% dead. And he was trying to stay on the edge of it, but he did break it and set up for that easy Sunstrike.
Yep, so just going to be about a minute without these 2 guys there. I don't think you really want to force the Earth Spirit buyback. It's just, I think he'd rather just wait 40 seconds and get back in there.
I don't think they really can. They still have 2 tier 2s to chew through. I think they'll be lucky to get a tier 2 out of this.
Man, Juggernaut, he's just all in. TC trying to blast him down. He goes for the spin TP, so playing a little safe here. Doesn't want to go too YOLO.
Backdoor protection was broken, though.
Mm-hmm.
What broke it? Mid lane?
Yep.
Ah, I see.
Mid boy crawled up to the tower.
Wow. Okay.
Got some scribbles on the map here is bruh.
I mean, that's great, though. Making those kind of plays as the Juggernaut, you force the enemies back. He keeps both of his tier 2 towers standing.
All right, this is the strength of the Monkey King. Just like 5 shot in the dazzle.
Yeah. Tough stuff.
Invoker now with a Scythe. So a little bit more control going on with the Dire.
Dude, this is, I mean, so where does Invoker go from here? He is decked out. Click on him again. He upgrades the boots. And then I don't know what you replace. Like, maybe you buy a Moon Shard. Okay.
You can feed Moon Shards to your friends.
Yeah, I mean, you could get a Necro book, keep it in your backpack and stuff.
Yep.
But this is, you know, a different wall than I was talking about. But
where he's just doing too much damage.
Well, it's just one of their big cores now, and it's like, okay, guys, Ember still has a little ways to scale. Juggernaut certainly still has a little ways to scale. Your Invoker's kind of there, man.
Trump.
I guess refresher. You buy the refresher and then keep it in,
in the backpack. That backpack cooldown is half as fast?
I think so.
Exactly half, or is it like ratio based?
I think it's exactly. I think it just.
Oh, look at that! They have a gem on the Centaur. This is going to be heated, but look at the tornado. Unfortunately, he's eaten a solo Omni Slash and does get rooted here. Invoker goes down. Bra still doing some serious work with that Basher Wukong's command. Is it going to be enough to finish off the Ember? It's getting so close, but the Grave means he will survive, and now there's a double silence. This is really dangerous. Puck slithering away, but won't make it. Now TC dumps out the ult on just the Earth Spirit. Okay, so they lose the Earth Spirit, but is it really worth it?
It's a 1 for 3 with a buyback.
Oh, and Radiant, I mean, they're still healthy. They could still take this if Dire keep pushing forward, and looks like T-Swift fan really wants to get in there and do the damage to the Centaur, but Trump's still bouncing around. A little bit low mana right now, some low remnants, but all right, Mike, are you dead?
I think he's going to live.
No, he's got the Gale.
Oh, he's still got Gale. Dazzle's not going to be able to heal him up. It's going to be close. It's going to be so close. Too much mitigation, though, with the pipe on top of the Glimmer Cape. Starting to feel that late game point.
Oh, look at this net worth. It's just wiggling its way up, back towards even now.
Glimmer Capes, pipes, so many items to mitigate Veno's damage. And he went for a BKB. Still no Veil.
Centaur's got... I feel like that could have been useful in this fight.
It might have just been delivered. I'm not sure. I don't know when he picked it up, but the courier could have dropped it off on his way back.
Yeah. I think it was he wanted the gem.
It for the gem.
Yeah, it was Brax's gem that went down. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to flame you, Mike. But either way, this is, like you mentioned, Radiant finally feeling they can take their advantage and start pushing, start translating that to structures, translating that to team wipes, and well, you've got Puck down for another minute with no buyback.
Yeah, I mean, Radiant aren't super healthy. Jug, I guess he's going to head towards the top, but I don't know. It's not that long of a window. I don't think they'll be able to do too much counter push off of this. How long on Roche? What do we...
He just was consumed a good while ago, so he's back up.
Oh, he's totally back. All right. Fairly quick respawn. That's good. So maybe Radiant just head right to the Roche pit then.
Mm-hmm. Veno, Assault Cuirass queued up. Not really an item I associate pretty closely with Venomancer.
Just why, man? I just don't understand. I'm not even trying to flame. I just don't understand this particular item build with TC. It feels like he's trying to do a little bit of everything, where he's building items that are good on normal right-clicking cores, you know, like BKB And the Hurricane Pike, amazing on most position 1 carries, you know, Luna or anyone else. But with Venno, I mean, I understand why you want the BK Beast. You can survive in the team fights. Like, none of them are bad items in a vacuum. I'm just not sure it plays to Venno's strength. And I hate to keep bringing up Veil, but it just feels like a mistake to not have a Veil on the team. Whether Venno's the one carrying it or not, I still think it's really good on Venno because it gives him some extra stats in the early levels. But like now they're starting to have that problem where they just don't do enough damage.
Oh, dude, he's got the squiggly jaw. Yeah. So, I mean,
I think it's coming down to, like, as this game goes longer, it's going to become easier for the Radiant. Like, the ease of execution just starts to shift to their way as they just get more items, right? Like, once Jug has Abyssal, it's a lot more straightforward. He can do the same thing he's been doing and just have additional abilities. Dire don't quite have that same scalability as we've talked about. So as this goes longer, they're going to have to execute that much more to make this game happen. You know, if they catch the perfect team fight, if they get a 4-hero Venno ult with a 4-hero Dream Coil on top of Wukong's command, I mean,
yeah, that's still looking good.
They still have a lot of options, but in lieu of that, in these more drawn-out fights, it's pretty tough. Don't forget Invoker bought back in that last team fight as well. So even though they kind of cleaned it up at the end, it was costly. Invoker paid for that.
Radiant, they are finally going to make their way into the Roche pit, and they're making pretty quick work of this. Even without the Dazzle Weave, it's still going down very quickly.
Yeah, looks like it won't be contested.
Radiant, they're going to scan it out, and Dire will Sunstrike, so they know what's up. But can they actually mobilize quickly enough to get in there? And it looks like the answer is going to be no. Maybe they can take a good fight after the Roche goes down, but and KVH taking his time with this. Finally finds himself an Aegis. Does have to backpack the Basher, so we'll see if that's going to cause any unfortunate plays in the next game where someone like walked away where they would have died with one bash.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you always roll the dice with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely worth it to have an Aegis, though. I mean, what else would you backpack? And
he's really close to the Abyssal. He's basically got the gold for it, I think. So.
Oh, Puck. Dangerous play there. Frax will be able to hop away.
Yeah, he's living life on the edge, especially carrying a gem, too. That's kind of a risky position to be in. But
him and Centaur swap gems, I believe. He's holding on to the Radiance, and the Radiant is holding on to his.
Oh, cool.
So everyone gets what they want there. Some
How
sharing
poetic.
is caring. You know NA Dota is all about sharing and just loving each other. So
all about freedom, baby. So Puck going for a Hex. That'll be the second Hex on the team.
Is that what's going to bring Pucks into relevance? Because it feels like Brax just, I don't know, he hasn't found what he's looking for.
It's an insane utility item, no doubt. Never bad to have another Hex on your team. Especially against a hero like Juggernaut. You know, if you catch him with the Hex before he's able to go magic immune, that kind of stuff, a lot of potential for big plays.
I think we're going to see some more impact out of our Monkey King. Like, now that the supporting role has been done and Dire are wanting...
Click on Puck and look at those talents.
Yes, sir. He went with the 420. All right.
The 420. Okay.
He's getting ready to just blaze across the map as Radiant. I mean, they're waiting here. They're set up pretty nicely. Maybe trying to bait out a little bit, bruh. You could just straight up spring the Wukong's command, but ooh. Holds for just a moment longer. Now they are going to see him. Again, Mike holding onto a gem, and this Monkey King is in some trouble. Does get helped by that Soul Engrave. Rubik definitely contribute there, and wow, okay. Nice first hit bash. First hit bash, Monkey King. What a hero. And they will be able to burn down the Dazzle.
Okay.
That unexpectedly went their way, I guess. They committed a bunch for it.
It's okay. It's well, maybe a little RNG on the field, but no worries. Very, very even game. We're nearly 50 minutes in. 2K net worth is nothing. And we're seeing this kind of final round of big core items come out.
Yeah, look how close they made that.
The Ember Spirit now with the Octarine gives him that 100% uptime on his little flaming snakes there, the searing chains.
Flaming snakes?
Yeah, they look like little snakes.
Oh, that's fair. Fluff still holding onto that stolen grave. What a play in that last fight, though.
Yep, always good to have Grave. I'm curious how this is going to work out for Puck with all that gold.
Oh, okay, they're going in. Puck going to be graved up, trying to heal himself, trying to hop out of this fight. Now Fluff, taking a lot of damage from this, is going to be able to go and steal a healing ward. Optimistic at best. It's so he's going to be going out. No buyback on the Rubik.
Okay, this is scary.
Potentially could be a high ground push if Radiant really got their shit together. Looks like they're grouping up, clearing out the lane. Still a lot to take care of before they're able to go and actually take out a set of racks.
Yeah, that is one problem. Really, both teams suffer from poor pushing abilities.
Venno did go for the big boy awards.
Yeah, I think so. Some of the respawn talents are too good to pass up, but I think generally speaking, most pro players look at those talents and go, anything that requires me to die to work, I'm not super keen on. Because you sort of are admitting that you're going to die, you know? And in theory, if you play it right, you shouldn't have to die that much. So it's hard to assess the value. You know, to look at that Venno ult and be like, oh my god, dude, this is a great respawn game, is one where you sort of have to admit to yourself at the same time that you're going to die a lot. And that's not a mindset that most pro players engage in. So it's a little counterintuitive in that way. You know, maybe that's not a great articulation, but it's
taking out that tier 1 tower that was still up at 50 minutes in the game. Yeah. Definitely something to keep your eye on. But
so my other question is, how much do you think the Plague Wards matter? You know, like, so
I mean, high ground a hell of a lot.
Well, I mean, they're, like I said, they're annoying. They do some damage.
Okay, they isolated him. It's going to be Trump now going in. There is a good Wukong's command, but Radiant dodging that one out very carefully. Trump is dominating, and now he's going to be just remnanting out. They will go ahead and spray out a Venno ult onto 2. Omni-slash bouncing around. They are able to kill off the Monkey King. It's not looking good for the Dire. Yeah, they're really in a lot of trouble. TC slowed by the poison touch. Now they bring in the Shiva's guard to do even more slow, and Invoker hits the deck. TC follows suit. There's one buyback on the Venno.
Dude, this could be game.
This actually could be game right now.
I think it might be. I mean, literally that fight, you could just feel the Radiant having more power. It didn't even feel like they did anything that special. You know, it wasn't a crazy initiation. It wasn't some clutch catch. It was just a regular team fight where they have more damage and more sustainability. And Dire are really running low on damage. The Wukong's command wasn't ideal. They were able to split out of it really quickly, but Fire are in big trouble here. I think Freedom are one step away from making this happen. Did Invoker buy back also? Yes, he did. Okay, so they hang in there. It's not GG, but when Invoker dies again, I think he's literally going to be out of the game for 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a long respawn. And
he just bought back at, like, what was it, 120 seconds?
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly how the formula works, but Jesus. he's going to be out of the game for at least 2.5 minutes minimum. Definitely
very, very difficult. I mean, I think at this point, Dire have to get that wombo combo like we talked about. The Dream Coil on top of Invoker, just unloading everything on top of Wukong's command.
It's pretty much the only way at this point, I think. Of course, I mean, it's in the hands of Freedom to throw is kind of where I'm getting at.
I mean, we can't underestimate this, so let's not call it prematurely, but it is looking...
Ags on the Earth Spirit. I know, those buybacks on the 2 cores really, really hurts.
Yeah, for the first time since, what, like 6 minutes in, it's now just skyrocketing in favor of the Radiant.
It just forces Fire to play in this super defensive posture now, because they know... Basically, if Venno or Invoker get picked off here haphazardly or just a little too far forward, this game basically ends. And it's not one of those, oh crap, I died without buyback, but they might not know. They know 100%. So, like, if this Invoker dies in the next 6 minutes, I think the game almost just ends.
Again, to recap for those of you just tuning in, Dire has the 1 game advantage. We're in a best of 3, so if Radiant take this, we move on to game 3.
Yep.
If Dire somehow secure this, pull it back from the dead, then they are going to be the winners of the NA Open Qualifier bracket.
It is still possible. If they stay turtled up and Freedom try to force it.
I mean, these wards are no bitches. They're pretty healthy right now, 1350 HP.
And their push is terrible. They don't have a single hero who's quote-unquote good at pushing. You know, Juggernaut does decent damage.
Pretty good.
How so? He doesn't do anything to structures. His damage isn't in right clicks. He's all magic.
That's fair.
Like, Jug is the best they've got, and he's, you know, I mean, he's no better than any other carry that can right-click and do damage at 55 minutes, you know? So it's really hard. And the other problem is Jug's melee. So their best sieger has to run up to the tower and be like, hey, guys, don't mind me. I'm just going to chop some lumber.
Ember Spirit's ready to go. Ooh, forcing out the BKB.
Is that it's a 7
seconds.
Okay.
I mean, it's not game losing, but it sucks, and now it's on cooldown for 40 seconds.
He has to play super passive for 40 seconds.
Yeah, he now has no BKB, no buyback, and Radiant know that.
Yeah.
So, Radiant just getting ready to seal the deal here. Again, not unthrowable, but very difficult. Everything has to go right for the Dire to have a good hold here.
I mean, 7k net worth is not that much.
Oh, they're going in. They do get the Hex off. This could be pretty big. Ember Spirit going to be grabbed out by that Dream Coil. He's still a big, fast piggy, and they will be able to get a nice ult on top of it. TC doing as much work as possible, but you can see everyone's still relatively healthy. Even keeping everyone stun locked isn't really enough. The Omni Slash still bouncing around. Man, that Jug never stops. And now Dire, they're reduced. They're low health, but still standing. No one going down just yet. And they are able to go ahead and grab back the Dazzle. Going to be kicked back from the Earth Spirit, trying to save his buddies. Sunstrike doing a fair amount of work. They do get the Grave off on him, so this is going to be very difficult to re-engage. Brax is in! Oh, Brax went too YOLO there. Does have buyback, but he's out for 100 seconds unless he spends it.
Yeah. It seemed like how the hell did Dire survive that, but it was really just because of the Shrine. I mean, they had that free heal, and that kind of reset the fight, but you can feel the lack of damage. It just, the Veno, he pops his ult, they pipe, and then he tries to right-click, but it just tickles.
Oh, okay. Going forward, they do get the lift off, holding Ember Spirit back temporarily, but with this first set of racks cracked, it seems like we're on a very slippery slope towards Radiant taking it. Another Hex. I mean, we've got Hexes left and right here, but the damage isn't there to follow up.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Exactly. They've got the control. That's really not their issue. They just don't have a right-clicker at this stage. The game's gone on way too long.
Oh, going forward, TC with a nice BKB, juking around some spells, but again...
I mean, look, 3 heroes affected by it. Nobody's even taking damage.
This guy is not even hurting right there. Okay, the Meatball does some work, and now all of Mike's mana's burned down. This could be big. Centaur.
Mike's not literally unkillable, but still. I mean,
he's lived a lot longer than I thought he would.
Oh my, this is tricky. I mean, they get the kill on the Centaur. That's nice. Brax did have to buy back, so now all 3 of their cores have buyback on cooldown. It's one of those moments where it's a hold. But is it?
I mean, they're trying here. Unfortunately, Brax. Oh no. Come on, Brax. He's so low. He bought back for this. He can't go down. That'd be a dieback. Ember Spirit. Similar story. T Swift fan burning low will go down. No buyback for him. Veno is out of the picture as well, and I think we're nearing that GG.
Think so too.
3 heroes are in the fountain with no buyback. I mean, unless this game goes another full 2 minutes without Radiant try to close it out.
If Brax died there, I think it's 100% over. But Brax was able to TP home, so there's that small sliver of, hey, maybe we can do something here, gang.
Well, they're going to take a full set top. Going to be rotating towards mid. They've already got the creep wave coming in, so this is at least going to be Mega's potentially game.
Yep.
I mean, Brax is ready, has his ult going, has that Scythe of Ice, but it's just where is the damage coming from? How do you cut through these guys? There's nothing they can do
at this point. They're 2 big cores down for over a minute. I mean, just look how slowly Freedom kill it, though. It's really, like, it's not that often you see lineups that have absolutely no pushing prowess, and this is kind of it.
Well, they're going in. Brax, optimistic orb, just keeping the vision up, and yeah, it's gonna be Megas here. The creeps already starting to tap on the tier 4s, and Brax just completely focused on that, but oh no, he's caught out on his own.
Yeah.
And I think that might be it there. He goes for the panic Yules, but it is only a matter of time. He's phase shifting, he's trying, he actually gets back to the fountain. All right, good job, Brax, but how are you going to deal with your ancient
kind of delaying the inevitable here. Mega creeps, they really don't have a good lineup to defend Megas. You know, we talked about Arc Warden earlier, great hero when really farmed to be able to hold off, and they just don't have anything on the like. Refresher now on Puck with all that money.
Yeah, I mean, they got to try something, but...
Also a level 5 Dagon on the Ember, so...
You know, we're just kind of switching things up. Puck this time, Silence going to be a little bit harder for him to get back in. He does refresh. Puck, it's your time to shine, man. Come on, Brax. T-Swift fan now back up after his long stint, and oh, here we go. His buyback came out. Dazzle just limping around, but they got the... oh, okay. Yeah, this is the good game coming out as we are going to be moving on to a game number 3. This is a very heated series. Team Fire versus Team Freedom.
Yeah. Whew. I mean, Fire had some win conditions that game. We looked at the graph quite a bit. We saw that they were ahead for really most of the game. But I feel like that game went almost exactly as you would expect it to once it hits 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Like once the Juggernaut, Ember, and Centaur are completely maxed out, like you you can't deal them. You know, they just outscale you. I feel like a broken record. TC did a lot of damage that game. You hit 59,000, a huge amount of damage, but it just doesn't matter once you're 50 minutes in. You have no ability to actually burst somebody down.
Definitely not an easy game to get into and lose after that long, but we're going to see how Fire bounce back from that. Again, the series now tied up at 1-1. These teams are competing for a spot in the regional brackets for the Zotac Cup Masters, potentially even a spot at the LAN in Taiwan. So a lot on the line here. And we're going to cut it, hop into the next lobby, and see you guys soon.